Hey, everybody, it's Carolyn. And as promised, we are going to talk about dating after 50. Yep, dating after 50. I don't know about y'all, but I'm 53. And the thought of going on a date is somewhat scary. Um, Part of it could be I got married at 21, so I dated um in high school and out of high school. And then after my divorce, I guess I dated. Um, but not like some people date. I mean, some people really, I mean, some people have teams. You know what I mean? Some people have teams. They have their starting lineup players and then they have their bench warmers. They have a different person for a different day of the week. They have a different person based on the event. They have the person they want to take around family. They have the person they want to take to a comedy show. And they have a person that they want to take to a sporting event. That's way too much. That's a lot. How, at this age, I can't do that. I don't even think I could do that when I was younger. But, people say, well, Carolyn, just go online and date. I don't want to. So then when I say I don't want to, the question is, well, why don't you want to do it? And my friend did it, and my so and so did it. And I know two people who dated online and got married. And they have been married, I think one couple, maybe 15 years, and the other couple, it's probably been 22 years. Not saying it can't happen. I don't want to do it. And I'll tell you why. I don't even remember how many years ago it was, but Plenty of Fish had come out, and it was Plenty of Fish and Christian Mingles and Black People Meet. Or was Black People Meet a site to date? I don't know, but it was Black People Meet, and it was all these sites. And so I thought, a friend had put it on my phone, Plenty of Fish, and it was free. And so I'll say this: you get what you pay for, right? I probably would have been better putting myself on Facebook Marketplace. Now, while you fooling, Facebook has a dating app. Facebook, I will log on to Facebook and it'll automatically pop up for me to want to go on a dating app. I don't want to. I didn't ask for that. I didn't search for that. I didn't look for that. Let me tell you what else Facebook does. Facebook makes me feel really, really lonely. It does, because I'll go on Facebook and all of a sudden there'll be like an ad that'll pop up, and it's an AI guy, and he's actually not a bad looking guy. It's just the type of guy I'm looking for, with the salt and pepper goatee and a little bit of gray in his hair, right? And he's going, hey girl, can you not sleep tonight? If you can't sleep tonight, call me. I'll be your boyfriend. What? So I get that. I get the AI husband. I get the AI. It is amazing. And then I also get Facebook knows I'm fluffy. Yep. Facebook knows I'm fluffy because Facebook will send me the BBW dating app. What's that for? Black beautiful women? Big booty women. Big whatever, it's got a big in there. So Facebook knows. Facebook's been looking at my pictures. Yeah, Facebook's been looking at my pictures. But let me go back to Plenty of Fish. I went on ahead and I joined Plenty of Fish. And the funny thing is, you can put in the type of guy that you like, right? And so when you get to the person's profile, you're reading it and it says that they're this and that and this and, whatever it is you like. And then you get to click on their picture. And this one particular day, I clicked on the picture and boom, it was my second cousin. I said, oh, hell no. So I had to hurry up and get off of there. But I know it was too late because what happened with Plenty of Fish is when you click on somebody's profile, they get notified that someone looked at you. And then they get the opportunity to come back and look at you. So I'm sure he was probably just as horrified as I was when he clicked on it and he saw my picture. Now, Plenty of Fish, you could put, again, the type of man that you were looking for. And you could say athletic build, or I don't know if they called it chubby. I don't remember because it was such a long time ago, and I'm not going to go on there to look to tell you. I usually pick athletic build. Yep. That's what I said. I pick athletic build. So, anywho, all I would ever get is the super skinny guys, and they would stand in their profile picture, no shirt on, middle finger up, and a bottle of liquor, and all teeth, maybe some gold teeth in there. I'm telling you, I can't make this up. And then they would send me a message. And in that message, all it would say was, hey, big sexy. How come I just can't be sexy? Why do I have to be big sexy? So yeah, Plenty of Fish, just it wasn't for me. And then my skin is a little thin. And what I mean by that, my feelings are easily hurt. There would be guys in their profile, you'd see a guy, you'd be like, oh, he's kind of cute. Well, let me see what he's looking for. Oh, he likes to do this. Oh, I like to do that. Oh, he likes to do this. And then it would say, when it mentioned the type of woman that he's looking for, they would put asterisk mark. And I know I just jacked up the word, but you know what I mean, the little star. And it would say, no big women. Bitch, what? It's too late. It's too late because I already clicked on your picture. So I can't take it away. I can't take away that I just clicked on it. But now I'm offended because your thing says no big women. Well, I used to like tell people I was like Lay's potato chips. You just can't have me once. It's a lot of people out here that don't want to be with a big girl, but y'all know y'all really some chubby chasers. My sister used to tell me, don't nobody like a bone but a dog, and he even buries the bone. So bam, in your face with that. So anywho, I do realize that everybody has a preference, and it's okay. That's what makes this wonderful world that we live in wonderful, because there is somebody for everybody. I don't know if my somebody has graduated from kindergarten yet, so I'm still waiting. So there is somebody for everybody, but mine is still a child. And I just need to wait for him to grow up and graduate college and get a job. So I'm going to patiently continue to live my life while I wait. Um and y'all laughing at me, but it's true because you feel the same way too, right? But then I want to know, so as we're talking about dating, and there used to be speed dating. I was never interested in that. I don't know, what was that? You get 5 minutes to talk to somebody. It's almost like an interview. Well, I'm kind of a talker. So, and I probably ask a lot of questions. So speed dating just probably, it wouldn't work for me. It would just be more or less, do you have any kids? How many kids? How old are they? And do you like dogs? I know those sound like strange questions, and I'm going to tell you why. Again, dating after 50. Here's a reason why. A woman of my age, I would prefer not to date a man that has a child that is 5 years old or less, mm, fifth grade or less, 15 or less. Yeah, if you're my age, I really want your kids to be out of high school, graduating. They can be in the 12th grade. And see, I say that because if you have a child that's 5 years old or younger, okay, that child really doesn't know how to dress themselves, bathe themselves, wipe their butt after they've gone to the bathroom. So when that child comes to spend the night with their dad, and if I'm there, then the mother is going to be wondering who's around their child, and that's just a whole lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then your child is 5, which means you was just fucking her 6 years ago. So I, I just, and you still have to go to programs and parent teacher conference and flag football and t-ball and stuff together. And I, I, I don't want to. I just go ahead and raise your 5-year old, 10-year old, 15-year old. I, mm-mm. No, thank you. That's just not what I'm looking for. You can have a grandchild that's 5. Yeah, I'm okay with that, but not your actual child. And then dogs. You must like dogs. Because I have a dog, and my dog thinks that she's a person. So you must be willing to treat my dog as such. My dog identifies as a person, and therefore you must treat her accordingly. So, and I know it sounds crazy, but again, at this age, we do get set in our ways. We like what we like, right? Just like a man is going to like what he likes. And there's certain things that he's not going to bend on either, right? But then I want to know, remember when you had friends, okay? And you had friends, and your friends would say, hey, my man got this boy, and we think that y'all should hook up. Y'all should meet. Or, hey, I got a cousin, on my mama's side. I think y'all would be a good match. Or, hey, I got this friend at work. He's a really nice guy. I would love to introduce you to him. Why don't we do that? Why don't we introduce our friends to family members or our man's friends, or do we still do that? And just nobody introduces me. I mean, so let me know. Do we still introduce our friends to people we think might be a good match? And maybe just I'm not a good match to any of my friends' people? It because well now I'm feeling some type of way. Now I think I want to make a couple phone calls, right? Now, I did have someone want to introduce me to a family member. I did. I did. Probably I want to say 15 years ago. And they told me, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You've got to meet this person, right?" And I'm thinking, I don't know, you know. And, my issue was I didn't know if I wanted to meet them because I didn't want the person to be disappointed because I was fluffy. Okay. So I didn't want them to meet me and make the face like, I didn't realize that the tables might be turned. And as much as I kept saying I didn't want to meet this person, I didn't want to meet this person, I ended up meeting this person, but not because it was a date scenario. It was a gathering that my friend had, and this family member happened to be there. And of course, they were like, Carolyn, this is so and so. So and so, this is Carolyn. And back then, my hair was long, okay? And I was younger. And this person looked at me, and I should take it as a compliment because it was just like, oh girl, you look so good. So that was scary. It was scary. And yeah, no. Mm-mm. And the only reason why I'm shaking my head is the person was a nice person. And you should always judge a person by the inside and not the outside. However, they were big. It was a big man. It was a big man. And I am a round woman. So are you getting the visual? A round man and a round woman. Those are two circles. Two circles are gonna roll off each other. They're gonna roll off each other. So somebody in the relationship has got to be athletic. And since it's not me, it needs to be the other person. So, no thank you. I don't think I want people to set me up because people always want to hook me up with someone else that's round. And I try to explain time and time again that two circles roll. And I'm just going to be very nice and leave it at that. The other thing with dating after 50, um, once you've gotten to be my age, you've either been married and divorced, or maybe not, but you've at least been in a long-term relationship. And depends on how long you've been on your own, but you pretty much get set in your ways. And I'm pretty sure men get set in their ways as well. So what happens, I've been divorced 28 years. So there are so many things that I've done on my own. I've traveled on my own. I've owned my own home. It's just things that you do when you're single. And mind you, this is not just women, it's men. So they live alone and they travel and they take care of a household. So what ends up happening is when you meet a woman that's been on their own for such a long time, a lot of times men feel like, um, oh, they don't need no man. They got this I don't need a man attitude. No, no, no. It might be that I don't need a man, but I want a man. Do you see the difference? Right? So I don't want to come across as needy that I need to have a man in my life because I've been doing this on my own for 28 years. But I want a man. So then when you get in a relationship or you meet someone, and let's say something happens that you can't do in the house, in my case, maybe I can't reach something, I need to do something, and I call and I ask for some assistance. Then the issue becomes that you're needy. Well, how is that possible? Excuse me. So it makes it hard because I've heard men say that they want to be wanted and they want to be needed. But then when you run into a woman like me, they feel like I don't need a man. But I've never said I don't need a man. I would it, and then you have men who say, "Well, I don't need a woman because I can cook and I can do all this. All I need a woman for is, things that happen in the dark." So somehow, when we get to be a certain age, we need to have different types of conversations, right? We need to have conversations as far as when you meet somebody, I guess you just need to go straight to the point. What are you looking for? I mean, there are some that aren't looking to be married. There are some that are looking for a committed relationship, but it's just not marriage. Some people are looking for marriage. Some people just want to have fun. And you need to figure out what it is that you want to do, and you need to do it because one thing you have to remember in dating after 50 is that you can't change somebody. So if you meet somebody and you think, oh, I like them, but I think I can mold them and change them and get them to be what it is I want them to be. No, over 50, this clay, it's already hardened. It's been in the fire a couple of times. There's no more molding. You can make suggestions and you can add to the person. You can add to it. But you wanting to mold them into this perfect, well, I guess I should only speak for me. It's not going to happen. You can't you can't mold me and change me. You can make suggestions. Um, but again, at this age, what you see is what you get. So I'm just curious again, for my single men and women out here, what's dating like for you? Are you still just doing one night stands? Is that even a thing? Do you still have a whole team? At over 50, do you still have a roster? Do you have your starters and your bench warmers? Is that still a thing? Are your friends hooking you up with their friends or friends of a friend? I don't think that happens. Again, because if it does, then I really need to call my friends and find out. I need to find out what's going on because nobody, nobody but nobody has tried to introduce me to their friends. So next time I talk about dating, I'm going to have someone on with me. It's going to be my son. My son is 30. And I want to hear what he has to say from a different um, generation. I want to know how he feels the dating world looks to him. In closing, I want you all to let this marinate and leave the comments below because I'm serious. I really would like to know, where do people go to meet someone? Where do you go? I've never met anyone at the grocery store. So many people are doing Shipt and Instacart and DoorDash for delivery. You don't really see them at the grocery store. Okay? Um, People have said go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's. Nope, never met anyone there. Um, I guess you can meet someone at a bar. but I don't really go out. So maybe I need to go out. Maybe I need to start dancing again. But do you really meet people at the bar? It used to be considered the meat market. So to me, the meat market means you meeting them to beat the meat up. Is that wrong? So again, some of y'all might say church. It's possible. I've never met anyone at church. And now with online service, how is that going to happen? So again, I'm just curious. How do people meet people? What is it like dating after 50? It's really a scary scenario. I think my last date was over 7 years ago. Yeah. So it must be something I'm doing wrong. So again, I want y'all to drop in the comments and let a girl know, what's dating after 50 like for you guys? So that's it. I look forward to talking to y'all next time when we talk about dating for 30-year-olds. It's going to be real interesting to hear what my son has to say. And I'm sure I'm going to keep this conversation going. Have a girlfriend of mine who wants to join on and talk about it. And I'm sure that's going to be a hoot. So stay tuned. I'll keep you posted when that one's coming. So until then, I hope you guys are having the day that you deserve. Of course, I'm having the day that I deserve. And until next time, cheerio. Hey there. This is part 2 of Dating After 50. What I decided to do, instead of just talking about how I felt about dating after 50, I reached out to some of my friends, whether they are women or whether they are men. And I said, I needed to know, what are some of the non-negotiable items or things about a person when dating? What are those red flags? I wanted them to be honest, and I'm not going to use their names, okay? But I wanted them to be honest with me and really tell me, what are some things that are deal breakers, right? And that's why I said non-negotiable, right? Now, as I read these off, I'm going to read them the way they were told to me. Don't get mad at me. Okay. When I say some of these things, if you feel some type of way, it may be because you're guilty of these things, right? Again, don't get mad at me. I have reached out to, there is no one that I asked on here that is under 50. Okay. So again, if you feel some type of way about what I'm going to tell you, is on this list of non-negotiable things, red flags, things that men or women just feel like they are deal breakers. Don't look at me. Go to your mirror and look at your damn self and ask if I was talking about you. But remember, it wasn't me. It was the people that I asked these questions to. So since we've got that taken care of, I'm going to start. Now, of course, I'm going to start with the women first because I'm a woman. Okay. So some of the things that women have said are non-negotiable. Okay. And again, the women that I've asked these questions to and the men that I asked these questions to, remember, they do not speak for the majority of men and women. They can only speak for themselves. Okay. So again, don't get in your feelings, as people say. I am just the messenger. So again, we're going to start with the women. At the top of the list, they said one of the red flags that's non-negotiable is that the man cannot live with their mama. I did ask, well, can they live with their father? And it is still a no. The man cannot live with a parent. The parent can live with them if they are taking care of their parent, but they cannot live with their mama. And I know y'all don't need me to clarify that any further than that. They must have a job. They must have a checking account. Okay, so the person, elaborated on that, meaning having a checking account. If you have a bill that you must pay, do not go to the liquor store for a money order to pay a bill. They want you to be able to give your routing, bank number, and bank account. We understand that everybody doesn't have a check. I still have checks. Okay. I still have checks. However, that was on a list for someone that is a red flag. It is somewhat non-negotiable. You must have a checking account. A narcissist. That is a red flag for some. And a lot of people go, well, what's a narcissist? Well, Google it. But one trait is they are self-centered. They have difficulty understanding or caring about the feelings of others. Okay. And then sometimes they turn around and make it seem like they're the victim. Red flag is a manipulator. Another red flag is your alignment on life are very mismatched. Okay. And what does that mean? It just means as you get to know a person and you're talking about, where you want to be in 5 years, or where do you see yourself in 10 years, or whatever it is, right? That you guys just aren't going the same. It's not the same. Okay. You're not aligned. Your goals are just is off. That's what that means. No respect for personal boundaries. Okay. That is a red flag. No mutual support. Saying that they've never been in love. Wow. It's almost sad if you're 50 or over and you've never loved anybody, like been in love. Liars. We're going to see that one pop up a lot. If you don't have a good relationship with your family, that's parents, siblings, for some of the people I talk to, that's a red flag. They want you to have a good relationship. A red flag, you cannot be recently divorced. They don't, that's a flag. You cannot be separated. Separated is still married. Yep. Even if you've been separated for a really, really long time, it's still married. Good credit. It's not a deal breaker if you have good credit. It is a deal breaker if you don't have good credit. Now you can say, what's good credit? Well, somebody said you must have over a 7-something score. Somebody else said you must have at least a 650. So I guess it just depends on the person. Okay. But it looks like for a couple of people, women, because remember, we're talking to women. A red flag is if you don't have good credit. Someone else said, red flag, if you don't take care of your health, meaning you go for your yearly doctor's exam, you go to the dentist, you take care of yourself. Because once we get over a certain age, it's important that some things get checked out. Someone else said a red flag for them is snoring. That's a red flag. Well, I know I could not go on vacation with them because I've known to chop a couple of trees down. So I am a snorer. Another red flag is chewing with their mouth open. Missing teeth. Like your front teeth. Okay? That's a red flag for them. As if you have missing teeth. Now, if you have missing teeth and you have a partial or dentures, that's not a red flag. It is just a red flag if you out here looking like Leon Spinks. Another red flag on the women's side is you are a poor communicator. Every conversation isn't an argument. Being cheap is a red flag. Sarcastic. Being sarcastic is a red flag. If you don't like to try new things. Smokes cigarettes. A red flag is if the man doesn't do oral. We're not talking about brushing teeth. And I said we, but I didn't say it. Okay, this is not home. I didn't say it. I'm just the reader. But if you don't do oral sex, it is a red flag for some. Okay, this is I'm just reading from the answers that I took. Family oriented. So they feel like if they like to go to family gatherings, they like to get their grandkids, they like to do stuff like that. They don't want the man to complain about those things because those things are important to them. So if they get into a relationship and the man is, grumbling and complaining, that's a deal breaker. That's non-negotiable. Now I didn't say this one, but I must say, if you don't love pets, so I guess, yeah, you got to love them fur babies. Okay. That's non-negotiable because I'm not getting rid of my dog to have a man. So there are a couple of people who said, hey, it's non-negotiable, if you don't like my dog. Bitch assness. Again, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Do you know what bitch assness is? It's a man that acts like a bitch. Again, these are my answers. This is what y'all told me. I'm just telling you. So if you act bitch assness, you gonna know because you're gonna be really upset about that answer. Not affectionate. That is a red flag for some if you can't show affection. A beggar. A woe is me personality. A person that's always right. Those were 31 different things that women that I talked to said. Those are non-negotiable. These are red flags. Now, I've got more from the men, okay? And just hold on tight. And so I'm going to say to the women, like I said to the men, if you don't like some of these answers, don't get mad at the messenger. Because again, I didn't make this shit up. They told me. They either via text, I had a conversation on the phone for an hour with one friend, and then for like 35 minutes with another one. I mean, these men really had something to say about their red flags. Okay, so let's jump right in. Okay, one was must have a good relationship with the other parent. Okay, so if you guys have either been married or you just had, you have children together, this man said that the woman must have a good relationship with the father of their child. Okay, I like that answer. I do think that's important. Um, Someone else said red flag is if the woman has no morals, if they have no character, if they have no plan for their life or retirement, if they have no belief in God or man, if they are not ready for man and they consider themselves as the alpha. Okay. Some said sack chasers. Y'all know what a sack chaser is. I don't think I need to tell. Do I need to tell you? I'm not going to Google it in the Urban Dictionary. Some other red flags are lack of faith. Somebody else said too many baby daddies. Now, they didn't say how many was too many. So I don't know if 2 baby daddies is too many or 3 baby daddies is too many or 4, but they said too many baby daddies. I probably should have asked for clarification. Someone said they can't hold a conversation, but they can shop. They said that's a red flag for them. Selfish women. Somebody said they don't want a selfish woman. No care or understanding on how to treat a man. Again, ladies, I'm not writing this. I'm literally getting this from the men I talk to. They said a red flag for them is immature women. They don't want to deal with an immature woman. Disrespectful to themselves and others. Okay? So you can be disrespectful to yourself. And they don't want you to be disrespectful to them and the other people. So it's just disrespectful across the board. This guy is saying, yeah, no, it's a deal breaker. It's a red flag if you cannot take accountability for yourself. Oh, now check it out. Now, on the ladies' list, it said you can't live with your mama, right? On the man's list, it says grown kids living with them and they're taking care of them. So it looks like men and women kind of feel the same way, right? Where the women don't want you living with your mama and the men don't want your grown ass kids living with you. Oh, look at this one. Now, mind you, I talk to men 50 and over. A red flag for them, they don't want any more kids. They don't want any more kids. Someone else says, red flag is if they have credit, financial, or stability issues. That is a red flag for them. Someone else has said, if the woman hasn't gotten over their ex or they are scarred from previous relationships. Someone else said that a red flag for them is that the woman is being the problem as opposed to being the problem solver, and that they steal energy instead of adding the energy. Okay, again, all I'm saying is I can feel the eyes rolling and the necks do it. I did not write this list. Another red flag, financial irresponsibility. And they said not necessarily how much they make, but the inability to manage their finances and responsibilities. Okay. Mind you, this is coming from a man. Okay. Another guy said, and we heard this already, poor communication, not being able to effectively express a point or opinion, and conversely, not being able to listen to hear and understand the opposing view or opinion. Here's one, and we heard this earlier up from a man, overly aggressive or dominant, acting outside her feminine space or taking on male traits. They said, I don't need a mother or a supervisor. I need a mate and a partner. Here we go again with the gold digger sack chaser. Again, I'm not telling y'all. If you don't know what a gold digger is or a sack chaser, you need to look it up. Okay? But this other guy is saying, yeah, no, that's a red flag for them. That if you are expecting someone to, take care of all your financial needs, and that you should keep your money and financial assets to yourself, they feel like, well, they said it's a selfish bitch move. So I didn't say it. I'm again just reading what was given to me. Okay. Someone else said a red flag is they don't love or appreciate music, because for them music is important to their being and their life overall. Music is literally the soundtrack to life. And again, I just have to say, as I keep saying, these are everyone's opinion. You don't have to agree with what these people have said, but it's just giving you what some men feel are red flags for them and what some women feel are red flags for them. So now we still on the men and what their red flags are. Someone said a nasty house, and they went on to say clothes thrown in the corner, a dirty kitchen, and the house smelling like a pet store. Nobody's house should smell like a pet store. I think that should be a red flag. No, not at all. They said immature. A red flag is if the woman is a prude. Okay. And I know y'all know what a prude is. Again, if you don't, look that one up. Okay. Not a good, men are on it with this communicator. Okay. Not a good communicator, not a good listener, always has to be right. Like they jumbled that all together. A red flag is, how is she with her kids? So men are watching how women are with their children. Are you spending the night out and you leaving your young children or, young teenage children at home while you going to get your groove on? Men are paying attention to that, right? And that's a red flag. Now they might do you because you came over, you was giving up the goods. But if you want to stay, trust and believe, they looking at you some type of way, right? They are. They're looking at you. That's a red flag. It's a red flag for this guy, right? Someone else said it's a red flag if the woman doesn't take care of her body. If he works out, he wants the person he's dating to work out and take care of herself. Somebody else with being argumentative. He said that's a red flag. That's a deal breaker. He doesn't want a woman that's argumentative. Hey, check this one out. A woman who doesn't know how to dress when going out. And he went on to say, you know how women go out seductively, showing too much, he feels like there's a time and a place for that attire. And really that should be at home for him, not out and about, because situations can happen. Well, now he's got to defend you because you out there looking like a hoe. Well, he didn't say that part. I ad-lib. I put that in there. Okay. But I mean, that would, just because you dress seductively doesn't mean you're a hoe. But if you got your ass and your stuff out, and okay, on to the next one. A red flag is if the woman doesn't have a good relationship with her father. For this person, it is a red flag if they don't share the same political views or religion. So and we talked about it, and that was big for him, right? So if you're red or blue and y'all colors don't match, Bloods and Crips, it's a red flag, and he's out. He also said he doesn't want someone who brings too much baggage. Okay. And at 50 and up, he said some baggage is okay. But how many bags are you trying to take on the plane? It's just some bags you need to leave behind. So it's a red flag for him if you bring in too much baggage to the relationship. A red flag is also a woman who tears a man down. He feels like a woman should uplift a man, okay, and should bring peace to the relationship, but not tear a man down. So that was the final list that I have for what the non-negotiables were for men. Now, I know that women, if y'all were listening to that list, y'all got something to say about some of the things that they named. And men, I know as I went over this list, it was probably some things that I said that the women said were deal breakers, and you are not liking it. Go ahead and drop a comment. If you have another deal breaker that you want me to talk about, or if it's a situation, go ahead and drop it. Put it in the comments. I'll read it, and I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it if you really feeling some type of way. But I just wanted to ask these questions of men and women over 50 because there are a lot of us that are single and dating over 50. And either you're new to the dating scene again, or you've been doing it for a while and you're trying to figure out what the problem is. I just wanted to ask the question to find out what we each thought. So maybe if one of these things hit a chord, it hit a nerve with you, then maybe you need to look at yourself and say, for a guy, are you a narcissist? What's the one that I like? Bitchness. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't. Bitch assness was what she said. So if that's how you act, maybe you should not act that way, right? Now, mind you, and listen very closely. When we get to be a certain age, we are set in our ways. Okay? So if you meet someone, and this is real talk. If you meet someone and you literally have a realistic, hear what I'm saying. Listen to me. You have a realistic list of things that are non-negotiable. Okay? Things that are totally red flags that you just can't deal with. Okay? Don't try to change him and don't try to change her. Okay? Because at this point, at this age, there are some things that just can't be changed if that person doesn't want to change them. If you meet a guy or a girl and their credit score is not where it should be, then get to the root of the problem. Find out what happened. Find out, why is your score a 2? Okay? Is it that they can't manage their money? Or did something happen? Right? Those things you can sit and tell a person, hey, if you try XYZ, how about let's do this? Okay? And if that person wants to have, and I'm just saying a credit score, but wants to have a better credit score because there are certain things that they want to do, then they will let you help them. Okay? So some things can be worked on. Okay? But if you get with a guy or a girl that's a narcissist, don't try to change them. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win that battle. Okay? So I'm not going to go through this list again because it was a long list. So just hit rewind and back it up if you want to hear the list again. Again, these were just of the people that I asked the questions to. It's something to think about if you are feeling some type of way because you are over 50 and dating and you are frustrated. So I hope you got tickled off these answers like I did. And not tickled really in a high way, but really, I was really kind of surprised with the way the men answered the questions. They kind of went a little more detailed than the women. But it is what it is. I think we all understood the answers coming from both ways. So I look forward to next Sunday when I do my next drop. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. Subscribe. And if there's a subject that you want me to talk about, let me know. And I'll talk about it. I hope that you guys are having the weekend And the Sunday that you deserve, I had the Sunday that I deserved. And until next time, cheerio.